think there is a chat button. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's scintillating, enticing, and electrifying episode of Jawin with Jack. For the triumphant return, we have established bona fide YouTube royalty this evening. We have the cruel DM himself, the heartless man, Scutifer Mike. Scutifer Mike, he is a YouTuber. He's a content creator. He creates videos for solo play, and he also maintains a YouTube membership, which comes with a Discord server where we all get together and play games with Micah as the dungeon master or the game master in the case of Mothership. And it is with great pleasure that I introduce one of my favorite guests and someone who's become a good personal friend of mine, Scutifer Mike. Welcome,
Jack.
sir.
Thank you for having me, dude. This is it's a long time coming. Let's just say that. It's a long time coming. I've been looking forward to this for a while. So I reached out to Jack for this, guys. I said, hey Jack, I've got some free time. Can I please come on your channel?
Yeah, she did.
Please,
And
please.
It's with some irony that I bumped Driving with Dragons tonight. And I was like, oh, look, this is the only time the guy could be on. So he very graciously accepted to be on next week. So for once, I actually remember who's going to be on next week.
Yeah,
Hey,
Daniel.
good evening, Pung King and my ear trumpet and Cyrus, as usual. Always glad to have you guys here. Now, the place I customarily start, since this is a tabletop role-playing game talk show, how did you get started with tabletop RPGs? When was it? Where was it? How was it? Who was it? Why was it?
So I think my origins with tabletop, I was an orbiter around the hobby. So when I was about 7 to 10, like very young, it was the 80s. Hey, I see a lot of like familiar faces. I like this chat. These are cool people.
Got good people, man. I got a good chat, man.
So in the 80s, I would watch my dad play Advanced Dungeons and Dragons with his friends.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, we weren't allowed in the room because like it was adult time, but I would like sneak in and I would watch, and like I would just see my dad like had like this little like army of men, and they had a small group. I think it was like 3 players, and then the dungeon master, who I still remember all of these people. These were like my dad's friends when I was growing up. So like they're all very old now, but they all had like 3 or 4 characters, and they would like, like abruptly start laughing, and then I'd come in and peek. I was like, what are they doing? Like, what is this game where they're rolling dice? I want to play with these little toys. I want to be a part of this. But the thing is I think my dad had an idea, because he's like, you're not allowed in here, which means I had to know what this was all about, like setting the boundaries. But I never got a chance to play because that was the adult game. And so I went years before I got to actually play. I met this group of guys in college, or I was about to join college, and they were my fraternity. And one of them knew how to play GURPS. And so we spent a day building a character for me. He was going to be a werewolf transforming ability character or something. I got to play him like for a session, and then we never played again. And so again, I'm just like orbiting on the outside of the hobby, desperate to get in, like banging on the door, let me in, I want to play. And then well after college, it was 2015, I think, I saw at the Magic Card Shop, they had a box set for the Lost Mines of Phandelver for 5th edition. And I was like, this is D&D, and it's a box. You just buy the box and you're ready to go. You have dice and characters and everything. And so I got on Facebook and I was like, hey guys, my real life friends, who wants to learn how to play D&D? And it was surprising. So many people were like, I want to try. And so I got a group together, just read the rules and I DM'd it, and it has never stopped. Like, that's been my launch pad. I think a lot of people started with Lost Mines of Phandelver.
And I think it's very interesting that you started with the wave of 5th edition. Do you think that had anything to do with the rise of whatever was huge at the time? I don't know if Stranger Things had come out by that point,
Well,
but
Stranger
that's
Things, Hellfire Club. Got my shirt. Got my shirt. No, I don't know. Like, it had nothing. Like, I had no idea what editions were, and I think that's really what WotC, like, their stranglehold on the hobby is that they have the
Mhm.
name, and so
Yes.
and when I read the Lost Mines of Phandelver, to me, it didn't seem fruity at all. It didn't seem weird or like, filled with a bunch of like political stuff. It was just like, there's this lost dungeon, go find it, rescue this dwarf. Like, it's super cool. You fight goblins.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is great. And it wasn't until years later when I started like noticing like really weird stuff being put into the books that I even like considered there were other games to play. Of course I had heard of Call of Cthulhu and
Mhm.
previous editions. Like, people would always talk about 3.5, but I had no need to play those because I had my player's handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, and the Monster Manual, and
If you've
that
got the 3 core books, you're pretty set in any
you're set to
edition.
go, right? And so it wasn't until years later, I think maybe 2020, somewhere around then. I don't even remember the exact year, when I was like, there's something going on with WotC. And then I started like, exploring other spaces.
Well, and sadly, it appears that it was far from just WotC, but since we're in the TTRPG space, WotC gets the majority of our attention.
Yeah. I
But
mean, yeah, you're right.
again, if it's a
There are a lot of companies.
culture-wide plunge for things, you see it in movies, TV, comic books, whatever, is it any wonder that it's made it into our role-playing games?
The world is healing though, Jack. Let me tell you. Like,
Oh,
you
please lay it on me.
you scroll through X and you can just see people are resisting this. Like, it is it is a part of the cultural zeitgeist now to shoot down this crazy behavior wherever we see it. Smash it with a hammer. People want to play a game that is exciting, that is hardcore. We want to traverse through
Absolutely.
dungeons. We want to like slay monsters. We want to lose our level 1 fighters and get and never play with Mike again.
No, that's not true. That is not true. Even at the worst, I'm gonna come back for more.
You have played one session with me since, but my feelings are hurt, Jack. My
Oh, look,
feelings are hurt.
look, your absolute cruelty. This is part of the evil, ladies and gentlemen. This is evil in action because he abuses you, he tears you down, he makes you tear your own heart out and eat it in front of a crowd. And then
He waits.
he
He
makes
waits until
you
you're on
feel
stream.
guilty for hurting his feelings.
He waits till you're on stream, and then he corners you. What happened, Jack? Let me tell you. This is Cyrus.
I
Here's
would
what
show
happened.
you on a doll, but I'd be demonetized if I had money.
I'll tell you what happened from my perspective.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm gonna host a game on the Discord for the channel members. So, what do you guys want to do? Oh, Mike, we really, really want to go fight the bad guy characters that did this bad thing. Okay, well, I mean, how could you do that? That's impossible. They're off in the swamps. You'll never find them. The guards lost them. It's impossible. Oh, I'm Jack McCarthy. I got this magic item that it acts like a magnet, and I'm just gonna go straight to these people. Okay, I did give him that item, but I had no idea the impact that that item would have whenever I handed it out to the players. It ended up in Jack's hands, and he was able to lock in arrow of direction directly on his target. And I was like, well, that's a good plan. I cannot stop you. I am a forgiving DM. I am a tolerant DM. I am an accepting DM. Whatever you guys want to do, I will
Yes.
allow.
Yes.
And they're like, we're gonna go fight our own characters.
Look, If you're dead
Man.
set on punching you in yourself in the face, who am I to talk you out of it? So
Well, the problem is
let's facilitate this
these
and
players
stream it.
kill each other. Yeah, these players kill each other quickly. It's very easy for a player to kill another player, and it's a bloodbath. Everybody's dead, and now Jack doesn't want to play with Mike anymore.
That is not true. What I think I have missed a couple, right? I have because of illnesses and stuff like that, but
My feelings
oh,
are
I
hurt.
see. You're suspicious. All right, you need me to make it up to you. All right, well, we'll see.
My
We'll see.
feelings are hurt.
I'm gonna be coy. It, that's how you make them want you more. Is you play hard to get. Your wife does
Well,
it. She tells
yeah,
me.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure she does. Oh
Now
man,
you
it's good
had
to see you, bro.
started to mention other games. Was Call of Cthulhu your first non D&D game, or was it something else?
Yeah, I think it was actually. That's a good question. My brother was okay. So you want to know what's really messed up?
What?
My brother, 3 years older than me. I was never allowed into the adult game with my dad. His AD&D game. We do need to hug it out, Velma. You're right. I know who that is.
Set off my gaydar.
The
Just
so
kidding. Just kidding. I'm totally
so
fine
I
being gay.
yeah, we're okay with that. I was never allowed at the table, but after a couple of years, my brother was allowed to sit in on one session, and I still remember his character's name because he gloated about it to my face. It was Dunawar. His character, he had a fighter named Dunawar, and he actually did get to play, and so he got hooked into like D&D, and then later on, he didn't really like D&D too much, but he
Okay.
did get really deep into GURPS and Call of
Oh,
Cthulhu. And
okay.
yeah, well after college, when we both moved to China, he did run Call of Cthulhu for me. He came to China years before I did, and so we got separated for a number of years. But he started gaming whenever I had like just started getting interested in D&D, and once we both got to China together, he ran some games for me.
Nice. That's fantastic. Now, my experience with you has been playing Mothership, which is not well, could kind of be like Call of Cthulhu in space, in the sense that you have the same life expectations for your individual characters. How did you move into this other space of other indie games? Like I know Mothership, but you've talked about many others. We've played a little Dragon Slayer together.
Oh yeah.
We haven't played Shadow Dark, but we had discussed that a bit. You know, I know that
That's
you
got to
do.
how I love
Yeah.
Shadow Dark.
Me too. Me too. I've only
Yeah.
really played it solo and run it in a few small sessions. But how did your entry into like the indie systems and the indie community take place?
You know, I wish I journaled more frequently. So I have been trying to journal and like track things and like remember stuff. I have a really bad memory about like the exact details of how things got started. I do see we could talk about that, buddy. I do see Ultra TT RPGer is over here talking about Hyperborea. I have the 3E PDFs as well, but I have made a commitment to 2026. I'm not playing anything. I'm playing 4 systems. 2 of them are for one shots, and the other 2 are for my campaign. So, actually Hyperborea has to wait until 2027, but it's something to look forward to.
I admire the commitment.
I have spread myself very thin. I did hear your question. I'm thinking, how did I get into other? I think what happened was I got on YouTube, and certain channels like Ben Milton, the Questing Beast, and I know who it was. I know exactly who it was. Professor Dungeon Master was talking about D&D, and he's like, here's how I run D&D, because 5e, you know, like these dragons have 300 hit points and these fights are sloggy. And I was like, you know, he's absolutely right. These fights are so long and boring. It takes the whole session to run a 300 hit point monster with all of these players with 100 hit points and 4 actions on their turn. And I was like, he is so right. And I watched his video. He's like, I just give the dragons 40 hit points and the players get
10.
a D8, right, for every level they have. So maybe like they have 10 hit points. And he's like, and then fights are brutal. And I was like, how is that possible? How can a dragon have 40 hit points? That's like what a troll has or something,
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I started like looking into the games he was talking about, which was BX. And that's whenever I was like, oh, there's other like old school options. And then then you start watching those videos on YouTube, and YouTube starts feeding you other outside of D&D videos. Yeah, and that's how I started learning about all these games, because these channels started popping up on my feed, and I was like, oh, I can learn about this game, and I can learn about this game. And so I think I've heard about like most of the games. I've played most of the games from the past couple of years, but that's going to stop in 2026. We're going to slow down. We're going to hit the brakes.
I feel you. I absolutely empathize with feeling like I spread myself too thin. As a matter of fact, I've pulled back to participating in 3 main games, which is my Calarath game that I'm running, and Drakenheim, which is my play-by-post game run by Serious DM, and then this little AD&D campaign that I'm in a place called what is Avalonia? I keep wanting to call it Avalon.
Avalon would be a better name. It's Aurora. It was named by Roxy, actually. She named Aurora.
Aurora. Yeah. See, now I got to mentally find a way to mnemonically link it to Aurora, Ohio, and that way it'll stick in my brain. Now that I've done that, actually, I will probably remember it. I think because you're so Camelot and Knight, like I keep linking it to Avalon in my head.
I am basically King Arthur. I am. It's true. Thank you for noticing. That was the aesthetic I was going for.
The looks, the charisma, Paladin all the way, first edition.
So yeah, I think she came up with that because it was like Aurora Borealis, and she's like, okay, I really like that. I want to go see that. So let's call the world Aurora. But
I love it.
Man, these people in your chat are great. Hey, Jeremy, good to see you, man. Yeah, it does have more than one edition. It does.
Jeremy's awesome. You can catch him on Rumble.
Yeah. So what were we talking about? Oh, somebody asked about how I came to China.
Yes, that was backed up a little bit. I believe it was Primeval. What happened,
Primeval?
Jack? He hurt me, Cyrus. He hurt me in ways I don't want to talk about yet. Okay. Share the story of how you ended up in China.
So my brother moved to China before I did. And so he came, I think in 2012, I think, a while ago. And I came to visit him. And he was like, dude, you would love it over here. It's so good. And I've always had a passion for travel. I had it in my heart when I was growing up in Louisiana, a little small town in Louisiana, no like connection to the outside world, like as far removed from a city as you can be. And I was like, I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to see the sights. I'm going to, get out of this little town. And I didn't do that. I went to high school in the same town I grew up in. I went to college in the same town. Like it all just kind of like, well, the college was like one town over. Big move.
Right. Yeah. I get it. Had to leave the county for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. I left. Right. Well, we have parishes in Louisiana. Let me just clarify. We are a parish people.
Parishes.
We have parishes. Yes. And so I was like, after college, the thing is even after college, I just stayed in the town that I went to college in, and I was like, there's no change. Nothing is like, I will probably die here if I don't move. And so I dropped everything. I quit my job. I was managing a movie theater, and I was like, I'm going to quit this. This is a dead end job. Like I'm just doing this because it was the job I had in college. And I packed up and I moved to Oregon, which is from Louisiana, is a big move. It is like I left.
Yes.
Yeah. I left all of my friends and my family, and I basically just, I mean, I still message them on Facebook, but like I had a whole new world in Oregon. And I lived over there for a few years. And while I did that, my brother was like, bro, Oregon's not far enough. You gotta see more things. And so I went to visit him in Beijing, and he's like, let me just show you. And you get to meet people. Yes, the Oregon Trail. It's the gateway to the universe. Um, you get to meet people from all over the planet, and they all come together and they speak English because that is the international language. And so we come to China. We partied till the early hours of the morning. We got to meet all of these amazing people, eat this exotic food, and I was like, this is the most fun I have ever had. And so I decided to get my passport. I had to get my passport.
Wow.
And yeah, and let me tell you, China is nothing like you have heard. I promise you, it is nothing like that. People, oh, don't they eat dogs over there? No, come on, like we're talking about a first world country, and with like very high tech. Like, these people are brilliant and hardworking. Like it's a lot like America, but more free. I
Uh,
know, I know, it's hard to explain.
yeah,
It's hard to
it's
explain.
hard to believe, but I can believe it.
Where there are laws for everything in America, like, like simple stuff like open container laws, right? Like you can't have a beer walking down the street in some states, depending on the state, right?
Mhm.
There are no open container laws here. No, they don't eat cats, Malachi. Um, like the business practices here completely free. Like you can get away with pretty much everything.
Yes. Yeah, I
Um,
have heard for years that it's easier to start a business in China than it is in the United States.
yeah, I mean, like, taxation is better over here. It's like just a better rate. Like the system is better too. Like you don't have to like file all this paperwork. Like it is it is an absolutely free place as long as you salute the 5 stars. Hmm.
Ooh,
Just
okay.
say, hey, just say, hey, 5 stars are the best, and then
5
everything's good.
stars. 5
5
stars are
stars.
the best.
5 stars.
Yes,
Nah, I can't do that. I mean, here's the thing. As an American, it's always gonna be 50 stars, 13 bars. That's just the way it is. For me, I bleed red,
okay.
white, and blue. I teach my kids about America. They love America. I teach them about the connection that America and China have because we are dependent upon each other. We have a future together. We are not enemies as much as like the media would have us believe. This place is amazing. It's filled with the kindest, most gentle people on the planet.
That's
It's
amazing to
wonderful. I
hear.
love China. I can never go back. I can never go back to America. For visiting, it's a week is enough.
Wow. Wow, it's that different. Well, got some wheels turning in my brain because, I've this my wife and I don't like people. We tend to stay in the house because, we don't really like people. So,
Oh,
maybe it's all the Americans. I don't know. Maybe it's the Americans.
there's a couple people in China. We have a saying in Chinese is "ren shan ren hai," which means people mountain, people sea. Everywhere you go, there are people, people in the mountains, people in the sea, like everywhere. Yeah.
Actually, that's to be honest, that puts it right off the list for me. I cannot handle that. That's one of the reasons I don't like to leave the houses. I don't
A
like being
lot of
around
people.
crowds at all. So
Jack, where are you based?
I am in Cleveland. I'm in the Cleveland area, but I'm out in the suburbs right now
Hmm.
because at the time we bought the house, I was still commuting downtown and she was still commuting to her job. I have since gone fully remote and she's retired. So, situation is different. If we had had this situation when we bought the house, we'd have definitely moved way out in the country somewhere.
Further.
Yeah.
So, I see Jeremy, he's talking about, why did I move to the well, here's the thing, bro. It was beautiful. It was cool. It wasn't that, I mean, it was pretty liberal, but, like, it wasn't, like, so super gross, when I moved out to Oregon. It had it when I was there, things escalated quickly. The homeless started like just pouring in. The drugs, like the slumped over zombie people, started happening. The tent cities
When
started popping up.
whenabouts was that? Was that
I moved there in 2012, I think 2013, maybe.
okay? Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So like it was still such a
late
beautiful,
term
cool
Obama.
place. Yeah, and then like things started like getting really gross. But I was in Klamath Falls, which if you know that area, it's in the south. It's in the mountain range, the Cascade Mountains, and so you do get away from some of the city stuff when you're out in Klamath. Klamath is like country, and so
Mm, mhm.
yeah. But yeah, I would still go to Portland and like have a good time. But then I was like, man, there's an element here, and it was spread quick. And now if you go, like it is so like you can still find nice neighborhoods, but like walking down the neighborhood is just like a zombie person, it's creepy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that was one of the things I'm happy to not have to work downtown anymore,
Mm.
simply because it was very similar downtown is the worst conditions. The only good thing about downtown was the restaurants, and even then it was expensive. But yeah, it's just constant press of people everywhere you go, and a ton of homeless and uh, you know other unsavory elements. Oh, question from Cyrus. Yes, I'm gonna run another Gobstein. That's all I'm gonna say right now.
Christmas Valley, is that in Northern California? I think I've been there before. I went to a place called Placerville. I think that is that the same place, Jeremy? Let's see if he knows where I'm talking about. Placerville, California. It's like Northern California. Yeah, dude. Yeah, going up
Oh,
and down the coast is so beautiful, bro. It really is. It's a wonderful place. If they cleaned it up, it would be heaven, really. Yeah.
yeah, I've heard that everybody. My wife lived in California, Northern California, for a little while, and everyone who's ever been out there has talked about how incredible the weather and the climate and the nature of it is.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the Californians, it'd be wonderful.
Absolutely. Yes,
So
Gobstein. We will be doing a Gobstein. I
we had a
promise.
few topics that we wanted to talk about. I have my little list here. Let's
What?
see.
Go back. Someone who takes notes. See, I don't do that. Not even when I'm dungeon mastering.
Bro, you have to write it down. I'm
Oh
telling
well,
you.
I
You
do.
gotta write it down. You'll forget it.
Well, see, here's the thing. Maybe Stephen King is right. If you can forget it, it's really not a good idea.
Here's the thing, Stephen King is an idiot.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
right,
There is
he's an
that. There
absolute
is
idiot.
that.
So, I actually despise Stephen King, and it's because I loved him so much growing up.
Me too.
I
Yeah.
I grew up on the made for TV series It with, Tim Curry, and I was, like, so scared of that clown, and I loved watching that series. It's north of K Falls. Oh, okay. Oh, so out in the country of Oregon, out in the middle of nowhere of Oregon. I know where you're talking about. Um, so Bend is beautiful. Bend is like I love Bend. If I could move to Bend, if I would ever go back to Oregon, I would move to Bend. But anyway, so I was watching this show and I was like, this is so cool. And so like around 12, 13, went to the public library. They had a thick copy of It. And I was like, I have got to read this. I read a couple of the Dark Tower books. They're okay. Kind of boring at some
Yeah,
the
yeah,
pace,
yeah.
the
I've
pace
read
is
the
kind of boring.
first two, I think, something like that.
But I've read a lot of Stephen King actually. But the It, I was like, man, I pulled it off the shelf. It was like this hardback copy, it's huge. I read it and I read it. It took me months to get through it. And then the very end of the book. If you've read the book, have you read that book, Jack? Okay. Let me tell you, there is a disturbing in the last like 50 or 100 pages or so, there's a disturbing incident where there is an orgy with little children in the sewers. And
I have heard about that.
I was like, what the hell does this have to do with anything? I stopped. I was reading the book and I was like, I just put it down. I was like,
Now,
this guy's a pervert. He's an absolute pervert. That's it. That's all there is to it. He's just a weirdo. Like he had no reason to put that in the book.
have you ever read Apt Pupil?
No, but I know that it's about a Nazi.
Yeah, you would remember that one for very much the same reasons had you read it. The parts I'm thinking of didn't make it into the movie with Ian
Right.
McKellen.
I wonder why. Yeah, so for me, Stephen King, like everything that he says needs to be thoroughly examined. Like really like look at every bit. He hasn't been the same since his accident, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
he got hit
kinda.
by a van or something. Yeah.
Yeah, there was in the early 2000s he got struck while jogging and it was doubly scary because I think the dude it was a hit and run. The dude just took off on him and left
Yeah.
him there. But he went through tons and tons of therapy, but then the very next thing he did on TV was Kingdom Hospital, and lo and behold, there's a guy jogging who gets hit by a van and then left by the guy. So it's like, it's
In his book,
practically a biography.
on writing, he says, write what you know. Write often and write what you know. So I guess that
Yes.
makes sense. That's actually another book. I've read a lot of his stuff, but everything he writes, you need to like fine tooth comb it. Everything he tweets on X, you need to be like, just really go through it. What do you mean by this, you
Y-
weirdo?
yes.
Freaking
Uh,
weirdo.
Well, and that's the funny thing is I'm not a terribly big fan of his writing, although I respect and do like his craftsmanship. But I particularly love On Writing and Dance Macabre. And I love interviews where he talks about the craft of writing. I do like
Yeah.
hearing what he has to say. But other than that, he can kiss my
What
ass.
what yeah, exactly. What are you reading right now, Jack? Kiss my ass. I love that.
Kiss my little green ass. Shamefacedly, I the most recent thing I just wrapped up, and I haven't started something new. I did finish the Living Campaign. I've mostly been reading game books when I have game reading time, and
That
I do
counts.
need to get back to some fiction like Conan
Mm,
and some Lovecraft and stuff like
mm.
that. Lovecraft has been my favorite of the Appendix N authors. He's one of the few that I actually read, and I played the game years before I ever read any of the
Mm,
stories. Back in high
same.
school.
Mm. I I have a lot of Appendix N on the shelf over here,
Mhm.
um, and I've been trying to make my way through it. But reading game books actually that counts, man, because it takes hours of your like you're reading for hours. So like you can't be like I'm not reading anything just because I'm reading the rules. Like it it takes a
This is
lot of
true.
time. Like if you're reading a rule book, you really don't have time for anything else because I mean, unless if you just have a lot of reading time. But I
Right,
read,
yeah, but yeah, it's the
yeah,
parsing what the actual rules are saying and what you do and
yeah,
how they work as you go and stuff like that. But that was like that was part of the thing I've talked about with previous people. I've put a moratorium on the Kickstarters and buying new systems because I still have a stack of games that I haven't even really read, let alone like got to the table and used in any way.
you would you like some unsolicited advice?
Please.
Stop buying games. Stop, just stop. You gotta play the games you have, read them, play them, run them. Stop buying games, Jack. Stop. Here's the thing: whoever
That's
inherits that,
most of them. I've got two other shelves off to either side that are, only mostly full. I'm a
whoever
collector.
but whoever inherits that, if they're not an absolute fanatic, they are not going to understand the majesty of the books that you have behind you. Like they're incredible, right? Like
It is. I
you got
need to set up a museum.
endless, right? You got an endless amount of imagination right at your fingertips, and whoever gets this is gonna be like, how can I manage this for Jack? I gotta sell these books. Like they won't get it. So
I'm trying to think of arrangements, but yes, you are right. I have enough, and even if I, just started playing now, I wouldn't use everything before
yeah,
my little goblin heart gives out on me.
it's just the pitter patter will just slowly get like if you try to pick up those books, that's enough to make it give out. Look behind me, I've got Call of Cthulhu, which I am committed to playing this year. Uh, comic books, Appendix N. Oh, DCC RPG. That's in 2027. I've played it before.
Yes, you mentioned
but
it.
yeah, but I'm gonna play that one again in 2027.
No, that's one I own a copy, but
An
it's
appendix
not a
in.
priority to play it for me.
It's not. I think it's just cool because I like the spells. I like the spells.
That I can dig. Like,
Yeah.
for that is the one thing it seems to deliver that no other game really does, and it's a double-edged sword because for
You're
me,
not
it's a
blocked in
bug.
scale model. Sorry, go ahead. I was somebody was asking if he's blocked. You're not blocked, buddy. But it's a
You're not
double-edged
blocked.
sword because why?
So, I'm sorry, what?
You said it's a double-edged sword because
Oh, I was gonna say it's a double-edged sword because specifically that, on the one hand, oh goodness, what was the point? What were we saying?
we were saying how DCC has like these really cool spells
Oh, the
and
spell list for DCC. It's a double-edged sword because for myself, it's a lot of flipping through the books and having the spells and stuff like that and knowing them
mm,
and using them. So, like, particularly if I'm playing solo, I don't like that much book flipping if I don't have to do it.
I think that like that's why I've bounced off of it because the book is so big and I don't think the rules are too complex. The rules are
No.
very much BX. So like but it's like ascending armor class, no big deal. But like once you open up the book, like the whole table will shake, the camera will shake, everything will, and then I'm like trying to read and the spell description is this big, right? And so
Yeah.
whoever's trying to follow along with me, they've already zoned out because I'm like, oh, okay, I got to read over here and then I have to like parse what it means. I get it. But if it's the only system or one of two systems that I'm going to play for a whole year, which is, I think, going forward, what I'm going to do. If I'm going to play a game, it's going to be, I'm going to commit to it. And then it's only going to be a number of like 1 out of 3 games that I'll play for the whole year. Right.
Ooh,
Then I
nice.
can actually then I can delve into it. And the people who are playing it, like, it'll be, this is our campaign. This is what we're going to do this year. And you need to know how Fireball works. Read the description as many times as you want, but be familiar with the page number. Write it down on your character sheet. Just go straight
Right.
to it. And then it's like, I don't think it is that bad at that point. I think it's okay. If it's
That
like
is true.
we're doing DCC, not like let's do a
Yeah.
one shot. If you're doing a one shot, bro, it's like, come on, man. Like, no.
Yeah, actually, that's absolutely true. It's not very one-shot favorable unless it's a DM willing to put up with new players, kind of thing, a very
Yeah.
experienced DM,
Yeah.
which you would hope to have. But yeah, I in a similar way, I have experience in the past from Rollmaster, which is kind of similar in the bury you in charts, like every weapon has its own attack chart. Uh, but the plus side that they gave you is these random critical and fumble charts with some hysterical and graphic results in them.
I like that. And that's what DCC does well. Also, I like the dice. I've heard, like, who is it that I was like watching on YouTube? Oh, I hate the dice. They're wrong. Oh, it was BLG, Black Lodge. You guys could not be more wrong. These dice are awesome. I have them. Oh,
If they keep that up, they're going to get stripped of their Scooty.
yeah. Oh, well, they bought that Scooty and then the check never cleared. So I don't even know. Like,
I knew it. I knew it.
the shit.
That's
Like,
why
yeah,
I
I was
never
like,
accept checks in crayon.
yeah, and then they blocked me. They're like, sorry, we didn't receive any messages from Scutifer Mike. And then I
Who?
was like,
Scudder for
and then
who? Never
it
heard of
says
the guy.
sent. It just says they left me on red. I don't even know what that means.
Red. It
They
must
left
be
me on
they're
red.
calling you a commie.
Yeah.
Red.
Oh no, I love those guys, but they are wrong about DCC, or at least the dice. I don't know their opinions on the system, but they're like,
Oh, that was
am I
basically it.
attributing? Am I attributing that to them? And that's like a crime. They didn't even say it. I can't remember. Somebody
It
said
could
it.
be. I gotta say, I know I'm pretty sure I have said it in the past. I don't know if you caught it on me saying it or not, but I've been like,
You are
I own
wrong.
a set. I think they're cool. I'm never gonna use them.
But I have them here because I use it for my oh, it must be here. Where is that dice? So I have this little YouTube shorts series that I'm making where like I make a dungeon room a day and I roll a big D60 for it because I have 60 tiles and I have, oh man, there's so many great uses for these little dice. Like a D3, you can use that really easily without being like divided by like it's just fun. It's cute. You get to see the 3 on there and you're like, that's that,
That's great. I like it. Yeah,
I
yeah. I
like
do
dice.
have
I
that one.
like
I like
dice.
the Roman numerals on there for the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I like dice. And DCC does have the funnel system. It's great. If you've ever played Sailors on the Starless Sea, you know how brutal a funnel can be. My brother, he only likes GURPS, but he loves DCC as well because I'll run it for him. He's like, this is actually a fun game. I only want to do level zeros. I want to have a butcher. I want to have I want to have like a shoemaker. I want to he's like, my next guy's a librarian, and all 7 of them are gonna go into the dungeon. He's like, he's having a blast with it. So,
Back in the Beckme days, I remember hearing from a friend that was the way they used to do it. Is they rolled up everybody rolled up a stack of characters and they went and attacked one big monster en masse, like a dragon or whatever. And whoever survived, they picked out of them, and those were the characters they played for their campaign.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Hey, Michael, what's up, man? DLSD 25.
DLSD.
Dude, what's up, buddy? What's up, man? I like this guy a lot. I love him on X. He makes me laugh every day, dude. He's so funny.
Yep, and he's always got something, man. He's all the art, the posts, the stuff, and yet he says things that disturb me at times, like things like I don't really play. He's always up in our streams and talking to us, and he claims to not really play. We've got to like corner him somewhere, have an intervention, sit him down at a table, put some dice in his hands, get him rolling a character.
Well, he should tune in, I think, in a couple of days. And yes, and how could you do that? In a couple of days, I'm gonna be on Patty's Parlor. So he should tune in for that. I think he's buddies with Patty. I think
he shows up in there all the time. All the time.
Yeah, so join us there. We're gonna hang out and chat in a couple of days. So
awesome. That's great to hear. Patty is always a good time, and make sure you give him a hard time on behalf of me. Say it from one greenie to another, from the goblin to the leprechaun.
Got it.
Know that
I'll pass that on.
Yeah, I make his life harder because I love him.
So, Jack, how did we meet? Because I have different memories of how we met.
Tell me. To my recollection, I don't know if I found you or John Mollison first through YouTube, but I think I found you independently because I discovered solo YouTubers and stumbled across your OSE series.
Okay, so what I remember is you I think you were friends with Harmony Ginger or something, because she would comment on your posts and I would see like, Jack McCarthy, and I was like, okay, so that's just a person. I don't know this person, but it was a name that popped up a couple times that Harmony would respond to. And then you did this magical thing. You ran a charity event for this goblin. What was it? Was it a Gobstein? Is that what you did?
Gobstein, yeah. We call it Gobstein, but that's what it was. It was I rode the wave for charity.
And so I also run games for charity, and it is an excellent way to raise funds. It's not a lot of money. You're never going to change the world, but it is an excellent avenue for raising money for a cause. And I was like, we don't do enough of this. And whoever this Jack McCarthy guy is, I'm going to boost. And so I followed you. I started sharing every post that you did. I liked your stuff. And then you were just my friend already. I don't know, what happened. Like, I don't remember actually talking to you for the first time. I just remember I like this guy. He does this volunteer thing. He's like raising money. And then all of a sudden, he's always in my game. So I got to play with Jack. I have such a bad, I have a goldfish memory. We met somehow.
You don't even remember how this conversation started. That's
Who are you? You're not my wife. Where am I?
that's okay.
What's
Your
going on?
wife sent me. Just stay in the seat, and the food is on its way. It'll be dropping in front of you.
Oh,
in little,
speaking
like,
of Roxy, come here. Roxy's got to say hello to Jack. Come here. You gotta say hi to Jack. Come here. She's about to go to work. She's about to leave for work.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just Jack. Come here. It's just Jack.
It's not live.
No, it's not. Come here. Come
it's
say hi.
not
Yeah,
live.
she
It's just
she
me,
looks
Roxy.
beautiful.
We're in the
She looks
green room
beautiful.
behind
Come
the
here.
scenes.
Everybody, I'm going to work. Bye bye.
Don't be shy.
Bye-bye.
Oh, she's so shy. Come on. Say hi. She's beautiful, y'all. You got to see her. All right.
I've seen pictures. She's gorgeous.
All right. She's shy, apparently.
Hey,
Tabu
I understand. Yes. Yeah. Jack can be a bit of the Peter Pan magic. And yes, always young and Lost Boys and Wendy Girls. Like the Wendy Girls. So, as we were saying, gaming and charity go hand in hand.
They do. And so, yeah, like I know that Harmony had you on her channel for something.
Yes, that was it actually. Harmony was my first real YouTube. The first one was Patty. Patty had me on his Sunday parlor show, and that was my first time doing anything. And it was shortly, actually, part of me, it was like later that day that I think that Harmony had me on, and actually she was also responsible for the biggest jump in donations. Like I had the biggest lump of donations I got came during that stream. So many thanks to her for hosting me on that. But that's really what got me started and circulating around. And again, I appreciate the help. I'm pretty sure by that time I was already like following and commenting on your YouTube channel. So it's possible that, but
Yeah.
I wasn't a YouTuber myself, and we hadn't met in person.
Yeah, I try to respond to everybody that posts on my videos. So that could be another way that I saw your name. But whenever he absolutely is a bro. Whenever you joined my Discord, we had already been playing together, right? We'd already been buddies.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I had started asking that. We were chit-chatting earlier, and I got invited to the random table to play with you and Harmony and Dunder and Night Danger. And that was either right when I had first started YouTube or possibly even before, I thought.
I think I know what it was. Harmony invited you to play Cosmic Encounters, and that opened the door to gaming with us because I was messaging them and I was like, I want to run Mothership for you guys. I want to play this game. And I was like, but we need 4 players. I want all the classes covered. And Harmony's like, well, we could, call Patty. We could do because she has like a lot of like people that she's had on her channel and that we've had on random tables. And she's like, we get Jack. It's like, oh, I was like, let me actually make a stand here. I'm going to put my foot down as the DM. It will be Jack because he's a member of my channel and he plays in this other game with me. He needs to be able to like he gets to play. And so like I did kind of like that's the only time with random tables where I was like, this is how it's going to be. Yeah, absolutely. And you joining that Mothership game absolutely was such a boon. That was so fun. You engaged with that game in such a way. Like I loved the grenade choice, like the hugging to the chest, like all of like the sacrifice that you made. Sadly, Harold the Handsome went a different way, but
still a story that will be remembered. It's like, again, when was the last time a one hit point character got remembered so fondly? It's still,
I think 4 sessions. 4 sessions is pretty good.
Almost leveled up, had enough XP to level up, was striving to get the loot. It was an amazing thing. But, well, one of the things too is random tables was not my very first, but one of my first regular online play of Discord. I did a little bit with like a one shot or two with some other people, and then I had hosted my own Gob stream, the Gobstein thing as a live stream event as well. And it was a really fun experience for me. You guys really helped bring me into the online gaming world, which has been the bulk of my gaming activity since you guys brought me in. It's, I was playing almost exclusively solo before that, and now, solo is something I get to squeeze in once or twice a week, and happily so.
I'm actually surprised to hear that because you are the caller for our AD&D game, or you have been before, and so back when you still played with me. But
look now, I'm
it
gonna
seems
book
like
a
you're
flight to Beijing and come whoop your ass.
okay. Come to Beijing. I will show you the time of your life, bro.
Okay,
come visit anytime you want. And this
and then
goes
I'll
to,
whoop your ass.
this goes out to and then you
turn you over my knee.
This
That's going on the
extends out.
stream.
If you guys are ever in China, you got to message me. Hey, dude,
I
I'm
will.
in Beijing. Come see me. It would be so fun. I know
Okay.
it's a long trip. It is a
I will
long
do
trip.
that.
It's a 16-hour flight, but it is.
I
worth
have
it.
a love of Chinese culture that goes back to Shaw Brothers kung fu movies from the late 70s and early 80s. That's where it got started.
So the Cantonese films. Yeah, I actually.
Oh
cannot-
yeah. Hong Kong mostly. Shaw
Yeah.
Brothers are the best ones. Although Taiwan did some good ones, but their production quality is really poor. But
I was
yeah, a
in
lot of good stuff.
Hong Kong this past week, and it's such a wonderful place. They all speak so it's a trilingual city.
Right. Right.
Cantonese is the local language, right? And
Mhm.
so super complex, impossible to parse. Even if like they have like 8 tones in that language. I cannot, for the life of me, begin. I can read more of it than I can speak, and that's crazy because reading Chinese is really hard.
Yes. Yeah.
But they speak Mandarin, which I do speak, which is cool. So I'm like, okay, I can talk to you in Mandarin, but there's no need for that because they speak English.
Yes. Yes.
So
Huge
it's like,
thing.
wow. I love going to Hong Kong because I can break out my English. It's like, hey, everybody. Hello. It feels good. Natural language there. Oh, so good. I love Hong Kong.
Yeah. Now, since the reunification of around 2000, like in the more recent years, huge fan of Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Donnie Yen in particular, Tiger Chen, I really love too. And I don't know if you've ever seen it. Jack Ma did a little vanity project kung fu movie. I think it's up on YouTube still, but anyone?
I don't know the name of it, but I think I might know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he did.
So he financed
a little kung fu movie of his own, and and Wu Jing, another great one from that era of films, just fantastic stuff.
Right on, dude. Yeah, no, I do love those old Cantonese movies.
Yes. The beautiful thing about the internet age is now I get to get all of them in the original language with subtitles, and they're so good. Like, once you get rid of the bad dubbing, they are such top-notch movies, digitally remastered, great film quality. So Shaw Brothers to the day I die, man.
That's great. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it would be so cool if I got, so you guys get to go to cons and like see each other. Maybe you don't go, but you could.
I could theoretically, it is within the cards.
Yeah, but for me, it's like it's a 16-hour flight. Well, it's a 14-hour flight back home, but a 16-hour to China. And so like, and then once I get here, I sleep until like 3 PM. My brain's all messed up. It's impossible. And then I have to fly all the way back and readjust with my time. It's like going to America is a physical ordeal as much as like just traveling. It's like an actual, like, it destroys me. I'm getting old. I can't do it.
I can imagine. I've only done it once. I flew to Korea back when I was 19 and South Korea. Spent a couple weeks there. And very similar. It was like a 14-hour flight, and but I can't imagine doing that on the regular. Well, and I feel that way with regular traveling, even here at home in the States somewhere. It's like, oh man, you need to like take a week for the trip or whatever, and then you need another week afterwards to recover from the trip once you actually get back from it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been to Korea a couple times, but what was your take on it back then? Because for me, Korea feels a lot like the America of the East.
Wow. So, being the only place that I ever went to, this was in 91, give or take. It was right before I went off to college. And I was there as part of a taekwondo group back in the
Oh,
day.
cool.
Yeah. So we spent like a week at a retreat, a camp up in the mountains, and then we got to go visit the Chungmu Memorial Temple, which is the Admiral Yi and the turtle ships, their great victory that they had against Japan. And then we spent about another week in Seoul, and that's where we got to tour Itaewon and do all
Seoul.
the
Yeah,
things
Seoul's a cool
there.
place.
It's great stuff. Yeah, my impression was it was so similar and yet amazing in the little differences, cultural differences. One of the funniest things at the time that was a cultural clash was in Korea, a man slow dances with a woman, but in fast dancing, you dance with other men. And that really weirded out a lot of the American men at the time because, things were a lot more homophobic back in the late 80s, early 90s,
Back when you could say the F slur.
Yes, you still could, that bundle of sticks.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
But yeah, that was one of the little cultural things. They told us on that trip that we ate dog once, but I'm not sure that it's true. But they did one time feed us this nasty, horrible mystery meat loaf for breakfast one morning. It was literally the worst thing I've ever eaten in my life.
I had the most exotic meat I've ever eaten was donkey, and I love donkey. It's so good.
Wow, really?
It's really good. Oh, dude. Okay, so that's one thing they do eat here. Donkey, they have the donkey sandwiches. So like they chop up the meat and it's very fine. It's minced. Add in some greens, like some onions. They sizzle it all up. It tastes kind of like a Philly cheesesteak, but they don't put cheese on it. And then, like you got yourself a little donkey sandwich, bro. It's good. It is actually delicious.
I believe it.
I will give you that. I will give them that. Like that is the exotic. That's the most exotic. I've had like, like ostrich and elk, like the good normal food that's exotic, but like that is like the donkey is the most weird. I had a scorpion once.
Cool. Now, being a Louisiana boy, gator.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's some good stuff. There is actually one restaurant in downtown Cleveland. I don't know if they're still open. I don't know if they survived COVID, but there was a Cajun themed restaurant that did some nice gator burgers.
Yeah, fried alligator is good. A gator burger I've never had. I've had like fried chicken, but like alligator. Yeah.
It was if you've ever had like a chicken burger where it's a breaded chicken fillet, that's what the gator burger was. It was like a breaded fillet and quite tasty. It's like gator to me kind of tastes like fish, but kind of tastes like chicken.
Chicken, yeah, it's chicken.
Right?
Fish.
It's that reptile stuff,
That is exactly how I would describe it. It tastes like chicken and fish. But I mean, if you're in Louisiana, you got to have crawfish. That's like we have a lot of delicacies actually. I was like,
love me some crawdads, some mud bugs. Yeah. That's the good stuff.
Mud bugs. There you go.
We didn't get eaten worthy ones in New Jersey where I grew up, but we did get crabs. We would put crab traps out in our backyard on the ditch, and we would pull up crabs, a whole bushel of crabs.
We actually have a pretty good crabbing like culture in Louisiana, but it gets overshadowed by everything else. Like because
because it's like how many. Yeah, there's a lot of gators, but how many can you pull out? Whereas you can pull out bushel and bushels of crabs from places like that. I know catfish and canoodling is big down there, which is also in New Jersey. Snapper turtles, are those big in Louisiana?
We have them, but I don't know if people eat them.
Oh, okay, yeah, they're a delicacy in New Jersey. The worst thing I've ever had in canned soup, I actually found a can of Campbell's canned snapper turtle soup, and it was the most horrible soup I've ever had in my life. Don't ever get
Never
snapper tutor.
Never admit online to being a member of the soup aisle. All right, brother. Like I denounce all Campbell's soup.
I
Member of
like
the
soup.
aisle.
Look,
The soupy.
don't bring your bullying ways around here, you cruel DM. We haven't even talked about the heartbreak you've inflicted.
We've barely talked about role-playing games.
I know. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. Role-playing adventurous eaters. All right, now since we went back to that, let's talk about how did you get started on AD&D, the great granddaddy?
I was bullied into it.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I was bullied into it. So I was playing old school essentials because, like I mentioned, Professor Dungeon Master kind of led me in that direction to BX, and OSE was just easier to acquire.
Yeah,
because you just get the PDF, and then I printed the books off over here, and I was gaming and watching YouTube videos, and I honestly have no idea how I heard about the bros and one-to-one time, but I know that my interest in downtime was like it was through the roof because I love this idea of like not just pausing the game, but like letting the heroes go back to town and like get involved in stuff. I think Matt Colville actually had a video about downtime, and he's like, things can happen in between the sessions, and then everybody comes together and they're talking about this stuff. And I was like, that is the coolest thing ever. You don't just pause right before you open the door and like cliffhanger every episode. This is so cool. And so I was watching videos on downtime, and somehow downtime led to the bros on YouTube. And it was probably John Mollison talking about one-to-one.
he's a gateway.
And he's honestly like he's a blessing to the hobby, to YouTubers. Like he is amazing.
And he produces it over and over again. And he's doing a Calarath series, which puts him at the top of a list that he was already at the top of. How can you keep winning so much?
Yeah, I mean he can't stop. He just can't stop. And so he taught us about one-to-one, and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna take OSC and take this BX game, and I'm gonna use these rules that he's talking about. Because I've heard that AD&D is impossible to read. It doesn't make any sense. There's no way to understand what's happening. It was an ancient book, and we're all better now because we know better now. We've learned. And so I ran an OSE one-to-one time game. I think I was already a year and a half in, maybe even 2 years into my one-to-one time game. Like I had the receipts. I was playing for a long time before I started my YouTube channel. Watching John, I was like, I could just do this too. I could just solo in my one-to-one game and like post it up on YouTube. Nobody's ever going to watch it. Who cares?
Right.
But like, I'll make like an hour-long video of just me gaming by myself in the world, and I can like talk about how I like one-to-one time and how it's worked at my table and how like we're having a blast with it. And I was doing that for months, and the Bro SR never gave me the time of day. They never talked to me. That they don't watch YouTube. They don't care about YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
They're an insular bunch, the bros.
Yeah, they're insular. And so I was posting one-to-one time videos for a while. Whenever I was like, people kept asking me in the comments, like, what are you talking about? What is this? What is one-to-one time? Why do you keep talking about this? And you're saying it in a way that assumes that we know what you're talking about, and we don't. And so I made a video explaining one-to-one time and like answering some of the questions that come up frequently, like, well, what happens if you have to pause in the dungeon?
When do I poop, Mike?
Yeah,
when do I poop?
If I go to the bathroom, what happens to my character? And so, yeah, I know it's, but the thing is like, if you just assume that people understand stuff, then like a lot gets lost, and then you're talking over them and they don't know what's going on. Right. And so after I made that video, Crossface Killer watched it, and hey Mo, what's up, dude? And he shared it on Twitter, and from there, like everybody was following me. Like they just started like responding to it, and that that video got like, for me back then, 1,000 views was like insane, and it got like 1,100 or 1,200 views, and I was like, what?
Whoa.
How is this happening? And it was all because Crossface shared it on Twitter, and they're like, who is this guy? He's talking about one time, he's stealing our ideas. And I was like, no, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Go back. I was like, go back to my first video. I say this is from these guys called the Bro SR. This is their idea. This is what they're doing. And they were like, oh, he's giving credit. He's giving credit. We like him. He's good. he's a good guy. And so ever since then, I've been like an official bro. And
that's when you put the hashtag in the profile and everything.
Yeah, but they're like, you're playing the worst version of D&D. That we started talking about this because you asked me how did I get into AD&D, okay, yeah. And so I'm getting into it. I have a wandering way, but the path will adjust.
It's all part of the story, because this is we worked in how you started your YouTube channel. Did it start with those solo plays?
It did. It absolutely did. And so, here's my funky dice. I was looking for it. It's on top of my AD&D books because I want to show you the stop buying RPGs, Jack, because everything you need, it's right here. This is everything
the whole time.
It was there the whole time. The answers are right the whole time. There. And
I regret nothing.
It's cool to collect stuff. I have, I collect comic books. Like, all of these are comic books. Like, I get it. Collecting stuff is fun. But you don't need all of these systems, because the original Gary Gygax understood gaming. He teaches you how to understand gaming in that book. I don't know if there's any other Dungeon Master's Guide that goes into statistics and probability in the same way that this book does. He explains everything we need to become masters of the game. And if you have the three core books, I like a couple extra monsters. So I also like promote a couple of the other advanced Dungeons and Dragons monster books. But if you have the 3 core books, you have a lifetime of gaming. You do.
Wow.
They bullied me. They were like, I don't need Osric. Osric is come on, man. No way. It's a cheap imitation. He cuts out. Here's the thing. I've read Osric. I read the whole thing back to front.
Mm-hmm.
He cuts out like the soul of AD&D. I appreciate what he's done for the hobby. That guy, I forget his name. Matt Finch. Yeah, I have a Fiend Folio. I appreciate what Matt Finch has done for the hobby. He like created the OSR basically. But you cannot you don't need Osric. You have AD&D. You have like the best. You have the soul. If you read it, they're English words. Like it's not like it's not written in Cantonese. Like it's easy.
Understood. You definitely have a point. Factually, it is more difficult to read and understand and parse. You will be the better person and better dungeon master for having had to do that. If you and perhaps I think this is another one of the points of the bros that doesn't get emphasized quite as much, but it's okay to set a bar for yourself and others to meet to play at your table. As a matter of fact, the higher that bar, the better. If you set a bar so high that nobody can play but you, well, then solo play.
Yeah, that's true. There you go. No, I will get into that, Ultra. I think, what do I mean by cut out the soul? I think that's a important question. So what Osric does is, at least the versions that I've read, I heard there's a 3.0 coming out. I haven't read that. Or maybe it's already out. I don't know. I read 2.0 and maybe even like one of like the 0.1s. And what he does is he takes the core rules for AD&D, and he slightly changes them. So he doesn't get sued. And so like the fighter, I think, needs like 1,999 XP instead of 2,000. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I know that the numbers are wrong. He changes them just enough to like make it a unsuitable. He's like, this is my own version of AD&D.
Right.
But he lists out all of the rules as best he can. He cuts out some stuff that just he doesn't think is important enough to make the cut, which is the essence of the book. So what's great about Gygax, when he's writing to you, you feel like you're having a conversation, a back and forth about how to understand being a game master. It's not just the core rules, like you need gold for XP at a 1-to-1 ratio. It's how do you prevent your players from ruining your campaign? And Gary addresses that in every paragraph. He's trying to show you how to build a world that will last for years, trying to understand that one player and their selfishness, it's not like they're not trying to ruin your campaign, but they are ruining your campaign. And so you have to, like, you're wrangling people and you're creating a world. And so yeah, 1E, Gary's talking to you, right? And so he's giving you insight on how to create a universe that will be long lasting and fun. That's the goal of the Bro SR, right? We want to have a campaign that lasts a long time for the most amount of people. And yeah, we do expect you to read the book. Yeah, you have to go through it and you need to understand it. Yeah. And it's not just high elves get, like a +1 to their intelligence. It's like, no, you gotta, or +1 to their dexterity. It's about how do you create a community? And that's what Gary does really well. It's like herding cats a little bit. It's about like setting clear boundaries, really.
Well,
Boundaries.
what boundaries do you now set at your table that you wouldn't find at your average 5e table?
I people call me crazy, but I require appendix N reading. So you need to be reading. It's a soft nudge, but you need to, like, if I'm going to be running a game for somebody, I'm like, read Conan, read Elric, 2 Hearts, 2 Lions, 3 Hearts, 3 Lions. What am I saying? 3 Hearts, 3 Lions.
That's the prequel.
Actually, that's the prequel. What else? What else do I have them read? I have Conan here. Oh, I like Lord of the Rings. It's right here. These 3 books right here. What else do we have? Oh, there's Lovecraft stacked up. Can you see it? It's horizontal right here. That's Lovecraft.
Oh yeah.
That holds a position of prominence because I'm pulling it in and out so much. It just gets stacked on top of stuff.
Yeah.
We've got The Broken Sword by Paul Anderson. That's another one of his books. Yeah, I mean these stories here. Oh, the Amber series. I think you can see that one. Let's see right here.
I cannot. But
you can't see.
Familiar.
Amber is huge. There's 10 books in this volume.
Yes.
Read Amber. I hold that a little bit. Sorry. Yeah, these books are a required reading. If you want to understand the kind of world that I'm going to be running, I expect you to read at least a short story. I send people mostly to The Phoenix on the Sword by the Conan story.
Okay.
That's usually like the first place I know, because it's short. It's like 20 pages. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't gotten to that one yet. And like I said, I've only read a handful of Conan stories myself, but they're from one of those
X Hearts and X Lions where X is the mana cost. Oh, dude. That is so funny. I don't know why I said 2 Hearts and 2 Lions. That I think that like I was just having like a little brain fart, but that is hilarious. You know what, guys, let's meme it. It has to be a meme now. But that is honestly that is the funny, because I love Magic the Gathering. Like that is an absolutely funny. The true Mad Tinkerer. You got me on that one. So that's the one you're reading right now. Very cool, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a really good one, man. Like, and it gives you an idea. There's politics going on. Conan he's the king, and in this book, he's already the king. He's already conquered. So he's playing politics with the local assholes, and they're setting up an assassination attempt, right? Very Bronstein-esque. They summon a demon, right? So very Lovecraft, and they banish him with a spell with a magic weapon. It's like, this is the kind of world that, like, I always want to send people to that story because it captures so many different appendix in like inspirations all in one spot, and it's like 20 pages. It's not that big. So
Also true, yeah.
It says, RPGer says, I gotta disagree with you, bro. I mean, you're my buddy, but come on, man. It's redundant? No, it's not redundant. You gotta, okay, so do you see where I lost it in the chat, but it was like, being forced to read seems very redundant in a game that's all about using your imagination and dice. I have to challenge you here, bro. Maybe I don't understand what the word redundant means. Maybe you throwing out all these big words and it's coming off like an
keep
insult.
using that word.
But redundant for me would be like, I don't see it as redundant. What I see it as is creating a shared universe and a shared understanding of what the expectation is. Because I've run a lot of games for a lot of strangers for the first time. And I mean, I'm literally hundreds of new players. I've run that for that many people. In Beijing, we have a group of 300 people in this group chat, and I have run for almost all of them. Okay.
Wow.
Hundreds of people. And I've taught so many people how to play. And what happens is they come to the game with their own understanding of what D&D is. They read the rules, right? I read 5th edition. I know like the rogue gets a cunning action at level 2. But that does not create a shared universe. So what happens is you get one guy coming to the table, he wants to pretend to be a transgender. You got this other guy coming up to the table. He's like, well, my character's parents were killed and I'm on a revenge quest. And then you got this other guy coming to the table. He saw the Lord of the Rings movies and he's always wanted to be a thief hobbit. And so he's like, oh, I'm going to be a halfling hobbit thief guy. Like, and so everybody's got these different inspirations, right? They all come to the table. I need to burgle something. And they all come to the table. And then like what happens is they start to interact with each other and it goes to the lowest common denominator almost immediately. Everybody just starts like talking about dick jokes because like there's no shared understanding of what this world is. Or they don't know who they're going to meet in the world. And so they all go straight to murder hobo. Like, oh, I'm going to, the barkeep won't tell me where the dungeon is. I'm going to kill him, or I'm going to rob him. And then like, it's just this big farce right away. Sorry, I was a little plosive there. There's a farce. And if you have required reading, you're saying, okay, here's my expectation. We're going to play a game of Call of Cthulhu. And I want everyone to read The Shadow over Innsmouth or the Dunwich Horror. And this is the world you're going to live in. You're going to be that professor in the Dunwich Horror that dispels the great evil, the incestual evil. Or you're going to be that guest in Innsmouth who's running for his life. He doesn't stop and fight the guys trying to kick in his door. He jumps out the window. He hides in the shadows of the little nooks in the alleyways. This is the world that you will be living in. You're not an adventurer with a gun who's going to go around shooting everybody. You're running for your life. You've stumbled into something. Read this story. Try to put yourself in that position when we role play. And it would be redundant if I ran the Shadows over Innsmouth module after asking them to read it. That would be redundant, but that's not it. It's more about creating an understanding of
this is what I want you to prepare for. This is the experience you should look for. Well, I really get that. And again, it's like, it's not like he can actually force us to read, but to have standards, it's sort of like, if you have had somebody who wants to play D&D who has never even seen the Lord of the Rings movies, as weird as that would be, are you prepared? Like they have heard something different or seen something different, and they have none of the same common touchstones that you have. Could you still get them into the game and run for them? And what you've laid out, Mike, is setting a common milieu. I guess that's a Gygaxian word.
That's Gygax's word, right? Like, and it comes back to that.
Gygax used that word.
Racist does listening to the thing that should not be count as reading The Shadows over Innsmouth. I don't know that book, but is it based upon The Thing, the movie? Because
no, The Thing that should not be is a Metallica instrumental.
Oh, cool.
on
Yeah,
the
probably.
Master
Probably.
of Puppets album.
And I also suggest watching certain movies too, because you can have your own appendix in on top of like the actual appendix in. Whenever we were gonna play Mothership, I told everybody like, go watch the thing. Like this is
Watch
the
the
perfect.
thing.
Like this is a perfect example of what we're trying to do. Um, but you asked me what are the expectations that I put. It's not just the reading. Appendix in is vital, but player organizing their own sessions is like the biggest thing. Like I should have led with that because that really is like my biggest requirement is you need to organize yourselves because I'm not going to create a story for you. You tell me what you want to do, and then from there I'll build. But I'm not going to be like, guys, this week the Aarakocra are going to kidnap somebody. And you got to go fight the Aarakocra. I'm not doing that. Like that's a waste of my time. It's a waste of y'all. Like we only have a few hours every week we can play. Why would you want to hear me talk about the Aarakocra? You didn't ask for this. Like
Right.
like you tell me what you want. I'm going to have fun rolling the dice and figuring out what happens with you, but you tell me what are you interested in? And so if I say on the Discord, I'm running a game, what are you guys going to do? My expectation is you guys, come up with a plan. You were mentioning something about like running a thieves game for the next session.
Yeah, as a
I
matter of
would love to design that. That sounds like fun. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do
we
it.
had talked about that recently, and we weren't sure who was going to be available for the coming session, so that was one of the ideas. But that's definitely one of the keys to running that one-to-one style game is because you can play into the future. Your character can end up in time jail. There's been a few occasions where we've jumped to other characters also because you want to compete with one another. Like we specifically did the good guys versus the druids, but we now have other factions that are forming up, and we have two different parties. Well, I guess the other party more or less got TPK'd, but
Yeah.
theoretically another party exists.
I think what a heist to Mothership would be fun. That would be super fun. Honestly, like if you guys want to show up for a Mothership game, we could do that for sure. That would be a blast to run.
Yeah.
But what I think with one-to-one time, there is a distinction between one-to-one time and Bronstein. But with the bros, we've merged them so like deeply together that it's almost the expectation now that we're doing both simultaneously. But if you had zero interest in Bronstein play, like creating factions that are going against each other, you don't need it to run a one-to-one time AD&D game, because if you it might naturally come out. But if your intention was we're gonna have some pirates over in the islands over here, we played them on Tuesday.
Right.
And they're sailing on the ocean for a month now. Oh, well, we can't play them again because we're using one time. Let's go like 300 miles to the southwest. Now we're in the desert doing a desert pyramid adventure. And so you can use this like shared world calendar and keep track of where everybody is, and you never have to have these like different factions interacting. It's less engaging, but there are lots of people who are just like, I'm not going to Bronstein. I don't want to do that. I just want to have my buddies. We're trying to survive the dungeon together. You can use one-to-one time in that same way to track, because you have to, if you're following the rules, you need to train for a week. Like you have to do it. Like you have to do these things. And like, if my thief gets his 1200 XP and he starts training because he did a really good job and he got all the treasure, he's going to level up while the fighter is still level 1 for another week. So the fighter goes to the next session. So like you still have to track this stuff.
The thief is going to hit 3rd level before the magic user hits 2nd.
Exactly. So, like if you're not tracking this stuff, if you're not accounting for it, you can be like, well, I'll just skip time ahead. And well, that's not fair for the fighter. Like, what is he doing there during that time? He's just going to stand still while the thief gets to free train. And so all of this stuff, it all comes back to expecting more from the players. And so I grade you, Jack, I'm not the nicest grader in the world. The reason why, honestly, the reason why Harold is dead is because I gave you a B one day. It wasn't a B. For people who aren't familiar with the grading system, I say A, B, C, D because there's
Right.
4 grades, but he got a superior one time.
Hmm.
And so,
As one would expect.
which is a B, right?
Mhm.
And which means that he had to train for 2 weeks and he needed 3,000 gold. But it wasn't a full because like it was average because he played like 4 sessions or something. So he was average. He needed like 10 days of training, right?
Yeah.
And so that is what kept him from being level 2. That 10 days of training because he had I think he had 1,500. He could cover 1 week of training, but he couldn't do the extra couple of days or something at one point.
Yes.
And
Yeah. I was I was about 600 or 700 gold shy of having the cash I needed to train. And,
right. And that's what got him killed.
well, and then the thing happened with the druids, and that's when the story took over. At those, and that's really the thing too is, when I was younger, we rejected and really cherry picked the rules to focus on the parts that we liked and everything. The stuff that
Yeah.
was more complicated, is what went by the wayside.
And that's
So
pretty
much, and
normal.
yeah, so much so that all that stuff got left out when they went to second edition because we're just going to leave out all the parts that nobody read in the first one.
Right.
The
Right.
really complicated stuff. But and that's the part about interacting with the bros that's been amazing for me is the discovery that these things when you apply them as written produce some incredible things. The story that has arisen out of your game by just applying these principles and the rules as they are has been incredible and amazing. When was the last time you played any game and hitting second level felt like a real accomplishment?
Right. And the thing is like I know a lot of people bounce off of the idea of like, oh, still not level 2. Oh man, I didn't do it. Oh, now he's dead. He only had 1 hit point. And I know that like it has affected your perception, Jack, and I'm talking to you
Mhm.
about AD&D. Losing
Absolutely.
Harold. Losing Harold. I know that has like really like been you haven't wanted to play very much since, like you played one time, but like you haven't wanted to play. And that's a reasonable reaction to be like, we spent all that time. Like I really wanted this character to make it, and he got eaten
So,
by a crocodile,
well,
so
that was a different thing together, and that was another the knock-on question I had was that what distinguishes the bronze team? We know it doesn't have anything to do with one-to-one time. I know
mm,
faction plays are part of it, and again we have the definition of multiple players acting under fog of war. Yada yada.
right.
Again,
So what does that mean, right?
what are the bullet points? What does that really mean
Sure.
in practice?
So there is a section in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons where Gary is describing the world that you will create as the dungeon master. He talks about how in one session, your player will be working alongside his buddies in the dungeon trying to recover a gem. And then in the next week, you might be at war. My stomach is growling. I wonder if you guys can hear that on camera. I'm a
I
little hungry. I'm
cannot,
fasting.
but
I'm
I'll
fasting
imagine
right
it's not.
now. Yeah, I'm fasting for like another 2.5 hours. So like my body's like, what? And I didn't eat dinner last night. I haven't eaten since 12 yesterday. So like my stomach's like, but
Oh,
I'm
oh no.
hungry. I'll be fine. I'm not gonna die. So he's describing how in 1 week you're working with your buddies to uncover the gem. And in another week, you might be on a whole different part of the world in a military campaign against that same friend who's playing a different character. And with one-to-one time, they are attached, but they're not dependent on each other. So one-to-one time creates a situation where you have these different parties operating in the world. And if you're tracking each day, you know exactly where everybody is, and the game is fair. And then you start to see and realize that this party, if you love your characters, if you really love them, you want your pirate character to win. And you also really love your crusading paladin character and you really want him to win. But the problem is the pirates, they keep raiding the towns every session. And the paladin is not going to stand by and let this happen. And the game that Gary was describing also had more than just like 4 players. So maybe, like he was running a game where an entirely different group of people, maybe one guy is the same in both parties, but maybe a whole different group of people are playing the pirates. And then there's the Crusaders over here. They have different interests. If you are role playing well, if you're trying to get that grade, I am a chaotic, evil character who like an half orc raider who is like murdering people. If you're playing that to the maximum, the Crusader's going to have an issue with that. And so the orc character, he's like, okay, I'm gonna attack the bog town this week. We've got a group together. Can we get you on Tuesday night? And the DM's like, all right, everybody, Tuesday night, Jeff and his buddies, they're running a game. And then Jack, he's like, wait, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? I want to run on Tuesday. Oh, we gotta react. Guys, can we get a game on Wednesday? Because we're gonna have to react to whatever it is that they do. We're gonna role play our characters as best we can. We don't want them to get away with this. What are they up to? And there's this FOMO that happens where it's like, what are they talking about? Are they talking about us? Are they going to attack us? Are they attacking some innocents? Are they going after our shrine? What are they doing? And so everybody's operating in this fog of war, which means like they don't know what's happening. It's that curiosity. It's the not knowing that makes the game so exciting. And so
yes,
that fog of war is an essential part of creating this competitive, hey, what's up, man? Dueling Dragon Adventures. Is that the
it
guy
looks like
who,
Ares.
yeah, the Ares. Yeah, that's the guy who does the mech game, right? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Oh, what's up, Thunder? Dude, I'm just talking about Bronstein. I'm trying to explain it in a way that's we're not using any coded bro language. We're just talking about like what that game actually looks like. And so it can come out of different ways. Like it could be 2 different groups of people playing who are competing against each other, or in smaller groups of like 4 and 5 guys, it's like the same people playing, just role playing 2 different groups against each other. And so what I envision for my ideal game is, it is him. Awesome. What I envision for my ideal game is, 15 to 20 guys who are all super invested in this world, Aurora, that we've been building for 3 years. And they've all gotten past the level 2 hump. They're level 3. They've got quite a collection of coin now. And they're the goal, and I think you were absolutely instrumental in me understanding how to get there, is we cannot have these parties near each other until they've developed the power and resources to become a real faction unto themselves. And so we were experimenting. We were like, let's get these guys that we're going to go after them. I should never have put them in the same town. It's just too close. It was a town of 250 people. Of course, they're going to bump into each other. And so that was a mistake.
Well, your war story did cover how you thought you had more time than you did, but
but that magic item,
a classic example of you're never ready for what the players are going to bring to the
table. Like honestly, I would have told you guys no. I would have been like, no, you cannot find them. You can't just be like, well, we go find the druids. I would have been like, how are you going to do that? And then you were like, Mike, I've got an arrow of direction. And I was just like, no. And even then I was like, guys, this is going to be a bloodbath. Be ready. Nobody was ready. No matter what I said, it didn't matter because
and that's the thing. You did tell us, we internalized it. We thought we were ready. I was not ready. And that was the thing I told you. I was very keyed in. I was focused on it. I was even into it as we were doing it. It was the later that it really sunk into me, that we talked about it. And that's where, I have my own attitudes and stuff that we've discussed about PvP and what it brings. And that seems to be one of the key elements of Bronstein. It's not have to be PvP, but PvP is on the table and can happen at any time. So you have to be on your guard.
In that description that Gary was explaining, like this world, right? He's like, this will be your campaign eventually if you do it right. He's describing two distinct, separate issues. In one session, you're in the dungeon, hanging out with your buddies, trying to get the diamond, right? Like you're
Mhm.
working together. You're being like you're the get along gang. You are friends. And then in another instance, you could be in a war campaign against that same character that was your like
Yeah.
that same player that was your friend, because these are two different distinct places in the campaign cycle. There are some
Right.
characters who've been in the world for so long, they have an army, they're faction level pushing. And then in the other, we're in the mud. We're still in mud core level 1, 2, 3, and we
Right.
have to work together. And we need to keep these distinct. And it is possible to build up these like campaign level like these massive armies, because I've done it in Aurora. There are like I have a fighter that's level 8 or 9, level 8 or
Mhm.
9. We have a level 7 wizard. We have a level 8 cleric. So these are characters that like they were the survivors. Like we talk about the
Yeah.
funnel, like they were the survivors over so much blood. And we were playing BX when we first started playing that. So like it was level when you hit 0 hit points, you're dead. These are the survivors, right? And so
Mhm.
like it is possible to build up these massive armies, and then you bring in new people. They start at level 1, and then the people who have these high level characters, when they're busy, they start at level 1, and like there's just this bell curve of like the very middle should be all like levels 1 and 2s. Like you have like the very end, you have your high level guys who are doing like the war campaigns against each other. In
Yes.
my experience, the 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 high level characters that should be going to war with each other, they've been through so much together, and there's so few of them that they don't want to fight. When they're at that point, they're like, you saved me against the twin dragons. Like this, that's an example from our campaign. We had these
Mhm.
twin white dragons, and they like one of the magic user died, and the cleric brought him back to life. And that was like being able to resurrect somebody was the craziest thing for us, because we had to earn that. There was nobody in the campaign world. I didn't allow NPCs to do that. And so
Right.
like somebody had to earn it.
He got
And
it.
and once you go through that, you're like, we would never like no matter what, we'll work it out, like
Yeah.
we'll talk it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to
We'll
fight.
figure it out.
And so my first attempt at bronzing in that world, and this works really well for us.
Mhm.
I'm ready to read Winning Secrets. I don't know like what other suggestions are, but what really worked for us was we took all of the crazy stuff that happened in the campaign, and they assassinated the leader. And this is the first time we did a Bronstein. We just made up some nobles, gave them armies. We're like, here, you come up with a name, where they're from in the map, and we're all gonna meet. We're all gonna meet at this duchy, this
Mhm.
broken duchy, and you guys are gonna do war games, Amber style, Zelazny style, over who gets to rule. And it has been so fun. We want to recycle that same thing. It's like make up some nobles, let's go, and like clash. It's super super fun. But the high level guys, they don't really want to fight each other. They just don't.
Well, I really do get that. And now, to beat my drum, I've said everything that's been described about the Bronsteins and the ongoing stuff, one-to-one time, they're all experiences that overlap with my experience in the vampire LARP world. And one of the key differences that emerges from that time differential is that with the stop time, we pause. When we pick up next time, nothing has happened in the world. But
Mm.
in another one, wait, 2 weeks went by in the world, and like you said, oh wait, we hear news that that dungeon, we were going to go to that dungeon and it just got looted. Somebody got there before us. You were also doing that competitive thing recently in the AD&D campaign, where you had party 1 and party 2 when we're both going into the same dungeon at different times, unbeknownst to one another. But and while I don't know all the details, from what I hear, the other party did not fare so well. near
They
TPK, or was it an actual?
it was a near TPK. They didn't have a dungeon caller, like, so their group was very much an experienced dungeon caller.
Oh,
So
okay.
they were like kind of fumbling back and forth. It was really sad to see because like they would meet like this faction and they're like, oh, this faction's gonna try to hurt us if we mess with them. Okay, well, let's go over here. Oh, this faction said they would hurt us if we mess with them. And I was like, that's D&D, guys. Like, you gotta pick a fight. Like, go for it, like,
Yes,
be
yes.
clever.
And yet at the same time, so much of it incentivizes not fighting. Like, if you can get around them and get the loot instead, if you can get
Right,
the
be
loot
clever.
without fighting, that's the way to do it.
Right, but you're gonna make somebody mad no matter what. There's gonna be somebody who's not happy with you getting their gold. Like, gold isn't just doesn't grow on trees, it belongs to somebody,
Mhm.
like, and so like that faction's going to respond, but
Now, let's focus on the caller for a few minutes,
okay. Yeah.
because that is one of those things. It is specified, called out. It is officially delineated in the early rules, but the very concept fell out of favor even by second edition, and it's an anathema to any other role playing game. As a matter of fact, having the notion that there is one PC who's calling the shots for the whole group would freak out most gaming groups.
Yeah, I think it's so apparently Dunder asked a question and it says it got deleted. I didn't see it.
We went, how to host a Mulder where everyone may have a Nerf gun.
I don't know what a molder is.
Um,
But a caller,
I'm betting he meant to say murder, like a murder mystery.
how to host a murder. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I kind of like that. But a caller in the dungeon and a mapper, we have both of those roles
We have
are
both of those.
distinct. A chronicler. I guess that falls under the DM for our game because I'm the one that does the after action reports, the chronicler. But I mean, other people should be taking notes as well. But
That's
the
kind of an
caller,
everyman job.
the caller is important, especially when we were running. Like, how many people did we have at like our biggest dungeon crawl? It was like 7, I think. 7
I think
players
we
is a
had
lot.
7.
7 or 8, something like that. That's too many people talking. And what happens is instinctively people are like, okay, well, I'm not gonna talk because there's so many people in the room, in the chat, and it'll get crazy. And then everybody's kind of like, do we go left or right? And I'm like, guys, come on, make a move. What are you gonna do? And I start to get annoyed because I'm like, this is my time. Okay. Like, time
Yeah.
is a valuable resource, not just in a game, but like I'm giving you the chance to like game, guys. Like, your gold, your XP is dependent on you. I'm not gonna just say there's a cache of treasure, a cache, whatever, in the next room because you didn't do anything. So
Right.
what's the plan? And so I think it was like mid-session, I was like, who's going to be the caller? Somebody take on the leadership role, go for it. And then you stepped up and you are an absolute natural at running the group. Like, okay, archers, okay, we're gonna move to the south then. Okay, and if anybody has a problem with that, they can be like, hey, I want to do this instead. And you're super amendable, which is what the caller should be doing. He's hearing what the group wants to do and he's speaking for the group, because if you don't say, I think everybody's so addicted to this idea that like my special character, I'm number one, and everybody gets a turn describing how they interact with the barkeep, that whole style of adventure and organization and hierarchy of power, not just in D&D, but hierarchy at the table. There is a hierarchy, and you have to respect and honor that anytime you bring people together. You can't just say everybody's the chief. Not everybody is the general. Some people are natural leaders, some people are support, and that works. There's an entire range of like people and their value. Everybody is useful, but there are people who are leaders and they need to be able to be respected, and they need to be given the authority to say, this is what's going to happen now. And that's
you
that's
might recall I was a little reluctant. I pushed back a little bit in the beginning. Not so much on the caller itself, but particularly like when my one character who I thought was a very leadership-minded guy, went down, and I switched to a more chaotic character. I was like, well, I don't think I should be the caller. I'm not playing that kind of character anymore. You maintained and I believe proved in the rule book, it says that the caller is a player position. It doesn't matter if I'm playing a chaotic evil thief, I'm still the caller, because it's more about that player's role
player.
at the table, not that character. Tell me
Absolutely.
about that.
Yeah.
Why
So,
do you think that is?
well, I think it stems from, again, the BroSR. We have a hierarchy in the BroSR. There's the leaders of the group, and then there are the people who are like, uh, we call them the bookers, the guys who are like the very top. Dunder is one of our bookers, right? And then there are the people who, the cream, right? There's a lot of members, but like there are people who rise up. They are given certain challenges, like maybe run a war game or write an essay or something like that. And they are the title holders. Like we use a lot of like the wrestling vocabulary. And so
yeah, there's
yeah,
a
like
T guy supposed to be coming up to challenge you for your title.
right. And so like we got, the champ, like you got the title holders, and then under that you got all the contenders, like the people who are trying to like, book a spot, like trying to like show their receipts and earn their spot. And so there's this idea that you respect the hierarchy. If you are new to the game, or let's say let's pretend that there's an imaginary person who's been running 1-to-1 time Bronsteins. He's never really like gotten on Twitter, but he has a massive journal of all of his receipts, and he comes into the bros and he starts saying, I'm better than Jeffro, I'm better than B-dubs, I'm better than Dunder. If he came in that way, he would instantly be met with respect for having the receipts, which has never happened, but he would be met with respect. But he would not be able to just come in and like abuse the hierarchy right away. He would have to like come in game with us and like be a part of our membership. We're a community, and like you have to like earn the clubhouse is a thing. You have to earn your spot in the clubhouse. I think he would rise really quickly if he had like a journal of all of his receipts. I've been doing this for 10 years, like wow, like we would be very impressed by that. But usually what happens is a guy's like, hey, I saw a John Mollison video and I heard about the BroSR and I want to play with you guys. And so we're like, all right, come on in, man, write an essay about your favorite Appendix N story, come play in a Bronstein with us, come hang out, but you're not gonna be a title holder. You're not gonna be
write a story to get the hashtag. Do you guys like monitor that? Are there membership dues?
Did I have to write? I have had to for the BroSR. I've written like half a dozen essays, probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that like that's voluntary. You don't have to do it. You just won't be a title holder. Like I'm actually the Bro-American champion right now, the current title holder for the Bro-American. I'm the Bro-American champion in China. That's how massive we are. You actually can't see. Bro, I've been working out. You cannot see it at all. The black completely hides it. But I'm like feeling good, bro. Like I'm built like right here and here, but you can't see it.
You're swole.
It's true.
It's real.
It's real.
It's absolute swollenness. I can sense it.
It's real, bro. I swear.
Aura. Swole aura.
Your aura. Yeah, but you don't have to do the challenges. Like you can just come in and like play the Bronsteins or like hang out in the chat or like hashtag BroSR stuff. Like you can be an orbiting member. That's cool. But like if you're gonna be a title holder, yeah, you have to write essays, you have to read Appendix N, like you have to do stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Run a war game, something like that.
There are it's not like some award where they just make it up and arbitrarily hand it out or something.
Yeah, I mean it's not like a Scooty or anything. Like you have to actually have to do something.
Like, or the Ennies, they're even worse than the Ennies. Right. I'll take a Scooty over an Ennie any day.
Well, yeah, I mean one has prestige.
One has prestige, yes, and consistency and judges worthwhile things.
Yeah, the girdle of giant strength. Dude, it's good to see you, Pseudo. I think I saw you before the chat started, but then I haven't seen you post in a while.
Yeah, he's been. I've seen him recently. I think he's been in a couple of streams with me recently, but I've been seeing him
Yeah,
more
he's
and more
great.
recently. So I'm glad to have
Yeah,
him
see you,
around.
buddy. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, so that's another thing that the BroSR does. We encourage like a healthy lifestyle, going to church, being a good member of your
Mhm.
community. These are all like really important parts of being a good person. And it comes back to what Gary was describing in AD&D, in that you're trying to build something bigger than just one person and their ego. And the hierarchy is a vital part of establishing that culture, because people who have come in and they've done their reps, not just physically, but like they've shown up to Bronsteins, they've run games for people consistently, they have earned their spot in the group, and people can ask them questions. How do you do this? How does this work? They're leaders in the community. You have leaders in your church. You also have leaders in your community. You don't walk in to a church and then you say, Pastor, I've read the Bible 10 times. I know what I'm talking about. Get off the podium. It's my turn. Right? Like, you come in, if you want to be the pastor, there's a process. You have to like apply to the board. Like, probably you're a deacon for a while. Like, there
Mhm.
a lot of times pastors are hired from out, but like, it's still, there's like, these people have been vetted, right? And so we have a vetting
Yes.
process in the BroSR. And at the table, now this all ties back to what you were saying, like, why is there hierarchy at the table? Why is the mapper? Why is the caller? Like
Mhm.
I said, I have a winding path, but there is an intention here. The players who show up consistently, who make maps for everybody, they're doing an active service. And let's get remind me to come back to acts of service once we're done. But they're doing a service for the community, right? They are the ones who are like
Yeah.
saying, they're stepping up saying, all right, guys, we are going to do this. We are going to do that. They're the ones drawing these maps and like trying to be like, Mike, can you clarify this? And like, they're putting in extra work. They're not just showing up to game day and being like, entertain me. They're bringing the service. And
They're participating. They have a job.
why I like you so much, Jack, and why I wanted to like you from the very beginning is
Hmm.
because it comes back to that fundraiser you did. You created an active service. You didn't get anything from that, but you made something happen for other people. And that's why I instantly was gravitated to you. I was just like, this guy is he's doing the work. He's helping out people for no benefit. He's just going to help people. And that's like why I was like, I got to follow this guy. I got to share his tweets. He's great. And I think that like, if you want to grow on YouTube, if you have a genuine passion for doing YouTube, the best thing you can do is help people. Make videos that answer people's questions or it tries to answer people's questions,
Mhm.
and people will come to watch you because you're not like selling a product. You're not just like promoting stuff like, oh, buy my latest Kickstarter thing. You don't have to do that, because you're spending your time, you're editing a video, you're creating this thing just because it's fun to help other people and answer questions. If you want to grow a YouTube channel, streaming is fun. Streaming will not grow your channel right out the gate, because what it does is it provides your
Finding.
audience a place to meet, right? Streaming is for your channel already. Where do you want to meet up? Let's all hang out together. And that's good for
Mhm.
that. You might get a little bit of growth, but it's going to be minimal. If you want to grow on YouTube, you make videos that answer a specific question that somebody has. So like how to read a die, right? Like, I don't know, like
Right.
I honestly think like that would be a good YouTube video. This is the D8. Whenever your dungeon master says grab the D8, it is an 8-sided die. Like, you could explain something and then people are going to click on that video and be like, oh, I remember he made that other video. Oh, he made this other video. And then the YouTube algorithm will feed you back to those people and it spreads. I legitimately, they hate that. They do. I legitimately thought 0 people would watch my YouTube. And now I'm over 3,000 subscribers. It's amazing, bro. It has been,
That is
honestly,
amazing.
it has been so fun growing the channel. And it all started because I was like, I'm just going to make this thing and people can see how it's done and maybe they can learn from it.
Yep. My buddy Dan here's been doing his scale models for 5 years, and he's developed a small following himself.
That's awesome, dude.
He's
You
doing
get
it
to
on
build
the
a
right. He's
community.
putting in the reps, man, just like you said.
Yep. You get to know the people in your chat. Like you get to like game with them, hopefully, share techniques. It's fun.
That's true. And your advice comes at a very timely point for me, too, because I've been considering how to level up the YouTube game. Because, it's, I'm hovering around like 100, 150 subscribers on YouTube. And I'm wondering what things I need to do to get that number, get myself in front of more people.
But
I
yeah,
like
so
the sound of
live streams are great. They will not grow your channel. Like
That's interesting. I was not aware of that. That's good.
If you want growth, but it's hollow. So, okay, we're going to get into the weeds here, guys. We're going to switch a little bit off of RPGs and we're going to go to YouTube. All right. So if you want growth, rapid growth, shorts, but it's hollow. These people are not going, they are watching you quickly and they're moving on to the next one very quickly. They will subscribe and you will, if you put out a short, you can get a lot of subscribers from it.
Very few of them go to watch your longer videos.
Yeah, you're right. And this is like a real problem because what happens is you'll build this list of subscribers of people that do not watch your content and it tanks your channel. Because they are just hitting subscribe, they're moving on to the next thing, and then that's that. It's a hollow subscriber. The way YouTube works is you put out a video and it shares it with people who click on that kind of content. So for me, it was solo plays. And I was getting like 50 to 100 views on my first few videos because these people already watched solo plays. And all I had to do was like put hashtag solo play in the video description when I uploaded it. And YouTube did the work. And so if I were to put that video out, but I had a bunch of shorts followers, they're not going to click on it, which means that the video will tank and you won't get any spread. So the best way to grow. Yeah,
funny thing is, I recognize the truth of what you're saying because I do that on YouTube myself. There are people that was a great short. I subscribe to their channel, but then I never see them again or never end up watching any of their long form stuff.
Yeah. And this isn't just my opinion. This is what YouTube says happens, but you have to actually like watch what like the creators of YouTube, like the engineers are saying how it works. They explain it, but it's just people, that's a really boring topic and it's not D&D. So here's how you grow a YouTube channel. Consistently, once a week, post a video. It can be anywhere between, if you do a 4-minute video, your watch time is going to be around a minute. It's going to be about 1 minute, which is really bad for the algorithm. If you make a video that's about 45 minutes to an hour long, people will watch. Even when they get bored, they'll watch for about 10 minutes, which is amazing for YouTube because they get the ad for your first click and they get the 8-minute mid-roll ad. And at that point, YouTube is financially invested in your video and they will share it because it's a 45-minute video, but people only watch 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes of advertisement revenue that's bringing in for YouTube. They love you and they will share their videos.
That's good to know.
If you make a 10-minute video, watch time is going to be about 3 minutes, which is less than the 8-minute mid-roll ad. So therefore, you will not get spread unless if you are making really high-end content, like with an editor and like a really good script writer and like what you're doing. Like if you're in production, like and you can make a good video, 8 minutes is fine. But for most people, we get on the mic and we just start rambling. 45-minute video, bro, I'm telling you, if you post out a 45-minute video, not a live stream, but a video, the algorithm will share it with people who already like the content that you're making because they watch it on other channels.
Right.
And then the followers will build. You'll probably get like 2 or 3 a day at first. If you're doing 1 video a week, every week, consistently 4 videos a month, and then it'll start hitting like 5 or 6 a day. And you will realize that the YouTube does all the work for you if you're making videos. Live streams are for your channel to come together and hang out.
Right. Brilliant stuff. Yes, and Dundermoose is right. This is absolute gold. You will get experience points for this, Mike.
Yeah, it matters. If you want to grow your channel, if you don't care, if you're just like having a good time, if you just want to stream every week, like where I'm at right now, I don't care about growing my channel. Like I don't need more subscribers. I don't care if I get 100,000 subscribers. I'm at the phase now where streaming is enough. I hang out with the guys who are already members of my channel. I stream. Sometimes I'll post a video, but like I don't have to be on the every week grind because I already got monetized. And so now
you've gotten that point. Well, yeah, I guess that would be the thing. I would like to grow enough to hit that plateau.
And you can.
That would be great. Yeah.
Anybody can get 1,000 subscribers. And I don't mean that like every person can do it. It's about consistency. It took me a year. If you post a video every week and I stumbled into the right strategy accidentally. I didn't know that was the right thing to do. I just did it because I wanted to make my solo plays. And so I just recorded them, edited out the boring stuff.
What is your process? I've seen kind of the basic. You seem to have very little minimal editing on your solo plays.
Yeah.
And you have that great overhead setup, which is very popular for solo plays. I haven't done solo plays myself because I haven't mastered a good setup like that.
So I can tilt the camera. It might be a little horrible for the eyes. I'll turn off.
That's okay.
All right. So right above me is a
top readings.
Can you see it? Yeah, there it is.
I see it.
Yeah. Okay. So that is.
I have one over in the corner. Yeah.
So I've clamped that down to my desk, and then I just put my phone in there, and then I have some wireless mics. Hang on a sec. And this is the receiver to a wireless mic that I clip onto my shirt. And the receiver plugs into the phone, and I just like stack it up on top of the little ring light. And then you have excellent audio. The most important thing you need is audio in YouTube. Video is it's secondary. Video is
secondary, yes.
Video is like, it's like so secondary that like you don't even need to consider it. Audio is so important because if audio is bad, people will click off your video after 10 seconds and then your video tanks.
Yes.
My first video.
Yeah.
It was just my phone and it was like on a stick that was aiming at my desk. And it was right next to me. And I just recorded the audio from my phone. It's so terrible. You can hear the washing machine going in the background, just terrible. And yet that video, like people were like, "Oh, cool! I'll learn how." It was a episode 0 of how to do a solo play, bro. Terrible audio, but people watched it. I mean, but audio is the most important thing. Don't take the wrong lesson for what I'm saying. You need good audio. Get a cheap mic. They're not super cheap, but they're not terribly expensive. Also, you can just get a wired mic. These, I don't even use. This is a lavalier mic. I don't even use this anymore. This can plug directly into your phone, and you clip it onto your shirt. These are pretty cheap. Your audio sounds great, by the way.
Yeah, I've actually and I am using the mic that you recommended to me.
So, this one?
Yep.
Is it the Samsung or whatever? Yeah, it's a really good one.
Literally, yeah. Literally, I got it wound up a little bit to keep the cord out of the way, but it's literally the exact model number that you sent me when I asked you about it all that time back.
And I mean, you can just hear the difference. Like your audio sounds great. Like no problem there. So you should start making videos, and you're going to be doing just fine. It doesn't matter what your topic is. You can talk about. You don't even need a script. I have a teleprompter. Completely unnecessary because you can just turn on the camera, hit record, and just start talking about your favorite topic. And if you have an actual experience, if you actually know what you're talking about, people want to hear it. I feel like we're over time. Am I bothering? Okay?
We are slightly over time, but it's a special occasion.
Yeah.
It's the Lunar New Year.
Yeah, 新年快乐，过年好。Yeah. Yeah. I like to mess with you guys a little bit with my Chinese. My tones are okay. but it's not great. If Chinese people are like, I basically got what you basically understood what you said.
I speak not a lick of Chinese, or a couple phrases. I don't remember how to ask for the bathroom, but I can say yes, no, and good.
Oh, okay, yeah. Harmony's sisters are Chinese, and so she actually speaks some Chinese.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. Well,
she doesn't love Chinese.
No, she doesn't, but her sisters do.
Goes to figure.
Yeah. So that's how you can grow on YouTube. And I swear, no matter what, if you do it, as long as you're not like saying something that's going to like turn off a lot of people and make them angry, you're going to grow, right? Like YouTube does all of the work for you. You don't have to worry about like finding a market because YouTube will do that. Mandarin, Putonghua. I cannot speak Cantonese. We were talking about that earlier. Cannot do it.
Yeah.
Why build a small YouTube channel? Connect with people? Surely the money is not enough to make a difference. Perhaps I'm wrong. The money is not why I do it. I do get paid, which is incentive to keep doing it. I make like $100 a month. It's not enough. Like I'm not gonna like the reason why is to build a community, to like share your ideas, to help people. The reason why I made a YouTube channel is because I wanted to record a video journal of my solo play. But people started asking questions, and I realized that I could just answer those questions. So like now, if you watch a solo play, I put one out a couple of days ago. If you watch my solo play now, it's, hey, everybody, here's the system. I'm playing my characters through this dungeon. Here's the system for this interaction. I just came across these monkeys. I'm going to roll 2d6, and on this scale, whatever I get, like, this is how they're going to treat me. And then I roll it. I'm like, oh, this is a 5. They're not outright fighting us, but they are very unfriendly to us. So how do I interpret that? And then I say, okay, here's the surprise. Oh, my characters are surprised. So they don't get to attack this round, but this other group will attack. And then we roll for initiative. And then I explain every step as if I'm giving a tutorial, like the rules through the book. And it's not just me getting to play my game and have fun anymore. Now it's like, here's how you answer questions for people. And I
have noticed that with your more recent solo plays. I haven't seen the most recent one, but the ones I have caught, you do very much take your time and explain the steps of what you're doing, which is great because it's teaching people how to solo, and it's also, explaining how that particular game works. How did you actually get started in solo play? Was that from John Mollison?
It was John. I actually just copied his idea. I was like, man, this is so cool. I want to do this exact same thing. The first time I played a solo play was after watching his AD&D series, and he was like 10 or 15 episodes in. I was like, I have to do this too. It's so fun.
That's great. Then I found you not long after that. It must have been because I started watching him early on when he started doing that. The amazing series, great stuff. And it was ironically shortly before that I had become hip to the solo community on YouTube already. Like my last show was with Deathstalker 5, who's my other long-running solo favorite. But solo was one of those things that for me, I just kind of fell into it naturally as a kid in the 80s, even because you just didn't get to play enough. I didn't have a regular playing group, but it was, I didn't fully like come out of the closet and start leaning into it until the YouTube craze, around the time. And it was around the time that Trevor Duvall started Me, Myself, and Die, which is a great show.
Yeah, I did like his. I think for me, it was a very easy choice to make because I already had over a year of my one-to-one time campaign under my belt with actual players at the table. I think it was like a year and a half in. I had so much experience. I was like, I could do this, talk about the exact same thing. Like it's not like I'm faking it. I know what I'm talking about. So whenever I was like doing the solo play, I was like, let me demonstrate. I can do this. I can record all of my events. Like I know how to do this. And I I will have this journal of all of these amazing adventures whenever I'm done, and it won't be me fumbling through like, how do I do? I don't understand. It's like, I already know how to game this. Like, let's do it.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, we are getting close to the end here. I do have to work in the morning, so I'm going to have to wrap it up here.
Yeah, brother. I like hanging out with you, man.
I know we don't get to do it enough. Well,
Yeah.
I'll
Maybe
bring
you,
it to
maybe you
Beijing.
could come game. Maybe you can come game with me. I don't know.
Well, and now let's address this. You've been dropping hints like you think I'm mad at you and don't want to play with you anymore. What in the world has given you that impression?
Well, maybe it's the fact that you don't want to play with me anymore.
Evidence.
Hey, Mike, I'll see you in the session. Oh wait, Mike, I can't make it.
Oh, okay, yeah, that is true. That did just happen yesterday. That did just happen yesterday. But before that, when?
Well, you did play after Harold died. I will give you that. And
I did
we
play.
we have had
and,
fun
yeah.
because I've been traveling. So
This
the
is
game
true.
has not been happening, and I get that, but I miss you. I want to play. Let's go.
Okay, good. That's we're going to do that. We are definitely going to do that. And this game, like I was saying, I'm going to reiterate what I said at the beginning. I felt last year I perhaps spread myself too thin. So this year I want to focus on my Calarath game, which I'm running in my own Discord server. Jeremy and Ultra, my two core players over there, and I also want to focus on Drakkenheim because that's just awesome. I'm very new at play by post. Serious DM is doing a great game. Yeah, I did bail on the Calarath game yesterday as well. So it wasn't just you, Mike. Wasn't just you. It was not a good day for Jack in gaming yesterday.
I got you, brother.
And the last one is to focus on Aurora. So that yes, again, yeah, I've come home. It's the superior game. So, and particularly with the three core rules, the three core books. Like that was one of those things I stopped liking first edition once we got Unearthed Arcana, even as a little kid. That was when the game even though I love Cavaliers and certain things in them.
So no, I'm with you on that. I love the knight class. The cavalier class is so cool. But then they changed the paladin to it. Like, no, we're not doing any of that. No unearthed arcana, just the core books. Guys, it's got everything you need. Join the Scutifer Mike YouTube channel as a member, and you have access to our Discord. You can game with us. Literally, we will roll dice together. I will kill your character. I promise.
And it'll make you love it. And I'm tempted by the Hell Delvers. If it wasn't for the spreading myself too thin, I would jump in on you. But tell you what, I will keep you in mind, Dunder, if I get the time for it coming up here. And that is Shadow Dark, Dan. You rolled up a Shadow Dark character.
Oh, I want to game Shadow Dark with you too, bro. That's one of my 4 games for this year, so we should play.
Excellent. Well, definitely going to do that then. Jack hates everyone equally. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I have a burning, seething hatred for all of humankind. So, and hates, of course. Yep. And Dunderbush, Unearthed Arcana was when the game jumped the shark, and that is true. That is absolutely true. They broke the game, and it is better restored to its original form. Now,
I think so.
As we're wrapping up, do you have any parting thoughts for our dear audience?
If you're a dungeon master, grade your players according to their class and their alignment. If they are not adhering to those things, if they're not adhering to the milieu that you have established as the culture of your game, grade them poorly. They will learn their lesson quickly. Because if they can't level up, because they don't have enough gold, because they were making shenanigans instead of following the Appendix N guidelines, then you will quickly separate the cream from everything else. They will rise to the top, and you will find your actual gamers. Everyone else will fall away. If you are a player, I would suggest that you come with the intention of being proactive and creating in your world. come with the intention of serving the group, not just my special character is number one. And you will find that the more you help the group, the more they want to play with you. And especially if you're running like an open table, you're going to find people texting you, say, hey, we need your thief on level 4 of the dungeon. Come play with us. And you'll find that your community builds around you.
Nice. Nicely said. Beautiful thing. It's the best community in the world to be part of. And thank you, Mike, for coming on to the show and making time for me.
Thank you for having me on, Jack.
It's brilliant. All right. And now I'm going to click the end stream button. That's when we strike a pose.